everybody. Sorry for the delay in starting. I've got something in my eye. Like I was about to turn on the camera and something jumped in my eye. It's just a little hair, I think, but I can't get it out. So sorry for the little bit of the delay. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I think I have everything set up. So sound check, give me a thumbs up or an okay if you can hear me. Here, okay, awesome. Cool. Alrighty. So, woo, I see everybody's been talking. That's great. Hi, Angela. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Lynx Lady. Hi, Mellow Yellow. Hello, Mina. Hello, TH. TH, your package got in the mail today. So you should have your package, your gift, early next week. So I am always bad about getting stuff in the mail, but when you live a couple hours from the nearest post office, you have to kind of time these things. So hello, Lexi. Hi, Rich. Awesome. Hi, Beverly. Glad everybody can make it. Okay, cool. So, awesome. Okay, so TH, your print is going to come in like a little tube, a little shipping tube. So, again, it might be kind of hard to get out, but hopefully it'll arrive undamaged. So, hi, Terry. Glad you can make it. Yeah, I've had a little bit of crazy internet here as well, so hopefully it'll all work out. So let's jump over to this screen here. And I think I'm gonna, no, not that. What am I moving? Bear with me, guys. Okay, I'm gonna move me maybe down there so we can kind of see the upper areas here a little bit better. Okay, so as kind of a quick recap as far as what we've done, the first session we blocked in the pumpkins and we started getting some shading developing around those. We started with our negative shapes, our darker shapes first, and started building up our values. And then we're putting kind of a light outline around everything for right now because we're going to kind of mix up the background a little bit and make that a little bit more fun. Hello, Kelly. And then we started on the can as well, and to make it rounded we added shading on each side. You will notice that this side here is quite light because we do have a little reflected light kind of bouncing back on that. We have our reflections of the shadows of the pumpkins back here, and we're working in some of these rounded areas as well. And then last week we jumped into the foliage here, however you want to say that. And this part last week was all about negative space, negative burning. So we're picking and choosing the little sections around the white areas. So that's what we were working on last week. So this week we're going to be working on blocking in the sunflowers. And then we'll see how far we get and then try to fill out the rest of the kind of the foliage and stuff like that. And then we'll also have some fun on the background. Don't know how much we're going to get to tonight, but we'll just do the best that we can. So just kind of looking at where to start here. Okay, I think if you look on the reference photo, we're going to start by blocking in the darker sections on these two flowers up in the right-hand corner. Okay, so I'd like to zoom in, but I still want you guys to see. Let me rearrange my photo here really quick and see if I can't do that. So let's go here. I don't usually like taping, putting tape on the surface of the wood burning because it kind of messes with where you've already burned. So let me get this set up a little bit better and we'll get get to work here. So thanks everybody for joining. I really appreciate you being here and hope everybody learns something and that you have a good time. So cool. Yes, thank you, TH. Yep, please like like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and all that fun stuff. So cool. Thanks, bud. Okay, so my burner is on full heat, full power tonight, and okay, so we're gonna burn around these dainty little light petals, and I would imagine that there is probably quite a bit of texture involved in this dark area of the sunflowers. Whether we put that in right now or not, not a big critical thing. Since I can't really see the texture, we're just gonna go with more of a dark value and not really worry so much about the texture. Because we've got kind of an irregular edge up here, so that gives us a little bit more of an idea that there is texture in here. But in the interest of time, I'm not gonna like put in a lot of texture. So I have kind of a nice little outline there to block that in. And then we're just going to use that upper part of the shading point to kind of build up our darker values. Now if you do get texture in there, that's totally fine, because I know it's there anyway. But we're going to block in this, would be the kind of the left-hand side. And you can see I'm starting to develop a little bit of ghosting and overburn right there. So I'm going to move down to the next little flower. And repeat the process. So I hope everybody has had a lovely week so far. The fall colors are just amazing. Here in Colorado, they're very late. They're hanging on, and we usually, the leaves have usually all been gone by this time, but it's a late fall. It's beautiful. All the colors are hanging in, which is lovely. Okay, so I'm looking kind of at the base of the flower in here. So we're going to put in some negative space, burning, focusing on our darkest areas. Good, TH. I'm glad that the weather's been nice for you as well. Yeah, it's been very mild here. Okay, and then there's a couple little sections in here that I'm going to add in as well, and then we're going to turn the wood and kind of continue working on our flowers. Okay, so that I don't kind of forget, like I did the last time, I'm going to put in a little bit of a light outline in this section where we can kind of see the background peeking through, because I got a little bit lost in my reference photo and forgot that this was there. Hello. So this will kind of help me to remember that there's some negative spaces in here. Okay. Very good, Mellow Yellow. Glad that your weather has been nice as well. And Terry, yours is good too. Cool. Ah, that's true. Florida does not have quite the colors that you'll see in other areas of the country. I was born and raised here in Colorado, and I don't know that I could move to a place that didn't have, yeah, you know, the 4 seasons. Plus mud season. We have mud season in the spring and the fall. Okay, so we have a pretty good start on those little areas. Maybe, since we're already here, let's move this over and kind of block in some of the stuff up, some of the darker values up on these flowers. Let me move over so you can see a little better. Okay. But my goal is to have these flowers pretty well done by tonight at 8. Okie dokie. So these ones, we're really seeing a lot of the backside of the flowers. Where the flowers kind of meet the stem. So find a point that is nice and small to where you can get into some of these tighter little nooks and crannies in here. And I'm just rocking the point up, but if you're using another burner, just go ahead and find a point that's real nice and delicate and tiny to fit into these little spots. Now we still have some negative space burning in here where we're going to burn around some of the lighter veins. Kind of like that. So really take your time. If you find that you're getting some ghosting or overburn, it's probably because your angle is a little bit flat, or your temperature might be up a little bit too high. Okay, so yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of ghosting and overburn in there, so I'll try to skip around and choose a different area to work. So I'm just kind of trying to look ahead at our next project after this one is done. We'll be looking probably at almost November. Do you guys want to do like a holiday, kind of like a Christmassy, kind of a wood burning project? let me know what you're thinking as far as the next project. We can make it like a Christmas based, a holiday based, or a winter kind of theme. So I'm open to ideas as far as what you guys would like to see. There's all kinds of like winter still lifes like this. There's winter scenes like snowy trees. So yeah, throw out some ideas as far as what you would like to create for the upcoming holiday season. We can do a realistic project. We could do kind of an ornament. We could do ornaments. Whether you want like a realistic winter scene, like TH mentioned, or ornaments, something a little bit more simple, color, kind of clip arty, not really clip art, but like a more simple design, we could do that too. But these live streams are for you guys, so you let me know what project you would be interested in seeing. There's snowy pine cones, there's snowy Christmas trees, there's probably, I might be able to find a sleigh, or just like winter trees. That would be fun. Snow on pine trees. There'd be a lot of negative space burning in that one as well. So right now I'm still working on the back side of these flowers, doing some negative space burning, trying to focus on our darkest values. Mina says snow would be interesting. Kelly says a snowy scene. Patricia says something relating to Christmas would be fun. Cool. Yeah. Keep throwing out ideas. And did you guys like the poll that I did on Patreon, to where you could kind of look at some options and then pick the one that you the project that you wanted to do, and the majority votes wins? Did you guys like having that choice on Patreon? And if you're not on Patreon, I set up, I think there were 7 possibilities for this autumn scene, and I put it up to a vote, and this is the project that the majority of the people picked. So if you are on Patreon, let me know if you like that and if we should do that again. Hi, Will. Mina says snowy pine cones and trees. Terry says a snowy scene would be cool. Okay, so you guys like the poll. Okay, cool. Well, I'll probably do the poll again and come up with a few different, I don't know if I'll have 7. That was a bit much. I couldn't decide myself, but I'll put together another poll on Patreon. So, and that's for everybody at any level. Okay. To be able to participate in that poll. So here we have kind of a stem. So I'm going to block in that stem while we're here before we turn the wood. So you see we have kind of a hard edge on the left and a softer edge on the right as the light is changing. Okay. All right, so I think we're gonna turn the wood now, and we'll see which is the best way to work on this. Okay, so let me see. All right, I think we're just going to go upside down with this. Okay. So we're going to be back to the little flowers over here. And on this edge, we're going to add in just a little bit more texture because it's coming into the light. So you'll be able to see a little bit more texture on that side. And then we'll kind of blend it in to the rest of it. So Terry, you like the weather this time of year, but everything else is too hot. I can only imagine how hot it must be there. Suppose you could always go to the ocean and get cooled off. But then there's sharks. I don't think I'd do well with sharks. I'd take a bear any day. Give me bears. Don't give me sharks. Usually you can see the bears coming. They don't usually pounce from underwater. I have like a fear of water, I think. The one time I was to the ocean, it was, I don't know, I was very on edge. I felt like I was in a hole on the beach, which is weird. It seemed like the horizon was above me. I don't know if anybody else has kind of experienced that, but it's kind of crazy. Of course, I'm used to living on a mountain top, so that might be why. So I've got a little bit more texture on this edge. My dark value is just a tiny bit lighter as it kind of blends in to where the petals meet the center of the flower. Oh, Terry, you don't have the ocean there. It's the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, cool. Gotcha. You're not a water person either. Gotcha. Yeah. You know, I love like lakes and streams. I think those are great. But the ocean is a whole different critter. Hopefully you can still see. I'm in a weird angle here really quick. Okay, we're just going to kind of block this in. And that definitely needs to be darker, but we're going to really try to keep pushing forward tonight and get as much done as we can. Okay. Okay, now here on the back side of this flower, we're going to block in some of these darker values as well. Yeah, lakes and streams are good. Yes, Rich. Yeah, you showed me that alligator. Holy cow. I don't like alligators either. I see those YouTube videos of people messing with alligators, and I can't hardly watch because doesn't seem very smart to stick your hand in an alligator's mouth. I don't think that's very cool. So yeah, Rich showed me a picture of an alligator on a golf course. That was crazy. Okay, so we're getting the back side of this flower kind of established. And then we also have a little bit of shading on the back side of these petals that we can put in. Okay. Alrighty, we're starting to block in our flowers. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, although there's not as much on this side to do. And my person is in the way. That's not me. Click. No, stop it. I've got too many boxes here. I don't know what I'm moving. Okay. Like that. Alrighty, this way we can go. Alright, we're going to add in a little bit of these dainty little edges in here. So my burner is still on high. If that is, I'm probably gonna have to turn mine down. In fact, I think I will. I'm gonna turn this down to where the orange meets the red, which is right there. And we're gonna start to outline and define some of these lighter petals. Sorry about the clanking noises. This dial, the temperature dial, is kind of messing with me. So I'm putting in just some real light shading in here to create the definition of the petals. And I'm just kind of doing a little bit of definition work here while I'm in this position. Hi, Larry. Glad you can make it. So we're just kind of working on some of the darker areas of the flowers. Okay. Alrighty. As far as yeah, I'm gonna move the wood again, turn the wood again. Okay, so we're gonna go this way, and that will allow me to, can you guys see that? Let's go this way. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it this way, that way I can burn these nice little stripes, not really stripes, but yeah, they're kind of like stripy things in the leaves there. Flowers, the petals, we're burning the petals on the flowers. Okay, so these flowers are pretty light to begin with because they're yellow in the picture. So we're not gonna have a whole lot of shading in here, but we want a little bit, so that when we add color, you can still see some nice value. Because you've got to have some sort of dark in there to create that definition. Oh, another thing is I am getting geared up to offer like Zoom classes, whether they're going to be in a group or one-on-one. So if that's something that is interesting to you, that you'd like some more information on, let me know. That's going to be new territory for me. So my objective for the Zoom classes is to either have a small group where you've got a camera on your end and you can show your progress with something, like whatever project we're wood burning or topic that we're talking about. You can kind of show me what you're working on in real time, and then I can offer comments or suggestions or different ideas to try. Now, we could do that, like I said, a one-on-one Zoom class or a group. It'd probably be, you know, pretty smallish group, 5 to 10 maybe. And because it's one thing for me to show how I do stuff. I think it's a different level of teaching to be able to see what you guys are doing and to be able to maybe offer improvements or suggestions based on what I see that you're doing, if that makes sense. So, okay, so TH here, that's interested. Okay, Beverly, interested. Kelly, cool, awesome. TH is saying, would this be for realist wood burns or any kind of wood burn? Really anything. Like especially the one-on-one classes or any of the classes, you know, we could just set up time ahead and say, okay, this class is going to be focused on fir. We're not going to wood burn a project start to finish. We're just going to work on some of like the basics of fir, how to get certain fir textures, how to hold the burner, tips, tricks, pitfalls to avoid. So there can be kind of, that was almost like a workshop class where we could work specifically on a topic. Another one could be smooth shading, etc. So, and like the one-on-one burnings, you would just tell me, you know, what you want to work on for, you know, I would say probably like an hour-long class would be good enough time to really dive into the basics or whatever you're wanting to work on. So you can tell me what your challenges are and how we can work through them. So that's where I'm starting into for the holiday season. Anyway, so just something that I am working towards, and would throw that out there for you guys to kind of think about. Thank you, Mina. I'm glad you like the elephant. Larry, you're finishing your elephant. Great. Very good. Cool. And Larry, I did spend more time on that elephant than I showed on the impromptu live stream, but I think I kind of covered basically what you guys needed to see. I spent probably another 5 or 6 hours on that elephant, just going over what we had already done. Like I spent an hour, probably hour and a half, just on the background again, darkening it up to my satisfaction, really playing with the wrinkles and all that. So, and also trying to add more shading to everything. But it's kind of hard to watch somebody dink around, I think, for an additional 6 hours on something like that. So that's why I didn't live stream that one. Okay, so Angela, you're saying you'd be interested in the Zoom classes. Cool. Larry is saying, what would the fee be for that? Okay, so I've done some research on Zoom instruction for artists, and it's like anywhere from $35 to $60 an hour. Since I am just starting out with the Zoom classes, it would be on the lower end, you know, between 35 and probably 45 an hour. So, because yeah, because I'm just starting into that. But that's kind of the basic range for art instruction on Zoom. Okay, so I'm going to kind of darken up some of these areas in here, but we're starting to get a little bit of shading on our flowers, on the petals. I have kind of a weird glare here, so I'm going to try to burn this a little bit more. Cool. Okay. And so yeah, I would probably announce Zoom classes quite a ways up front and kind of schedule those out to let you know whether I have time for one-on-one classes or if we could bunch up and do like maybe, you know, 5 to 10 people in the same class. So, but I will continue to work forward on that, and I'll let everybody know when that is going to move forward. So we're starting to get a little bit of shading here in the petals. Sometimes you're going to want to add maybe a little bit more than what you see in the reference photo, because we often lose these lighter values with time. Okay, so that's starting to kind of come along. Let me work on the other one that, come on, that you guys can see. And the Zoom classes would also give me a better opportunity, I think, to show other wood burners and tools and tips to, it's always fun to kind of play around with different tools and tips and see what effects that you can get with different points and temperatures as well. So I would probably list out those Zoom classes by tools as well, like whether it's the razor tip or the Versatool. There's also, I think a lot of people use like the Coalwood. I don't have one, but that's something that I could look into getting. Yeah, Mina, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that I might start with just kind of a small group to start with, and especially for things that a lot of people struggle with, like fur textures and smooth shading, portraits, all those kinds of things are something are things that people usually struggle with. So it would probably make more sense for me to teach a small group than one-on-one. Terry, yes, I will still do the Friday night live streams. The Zoom classes would be kind of in addition to the live streams. Just kind of a more in-depth kind of a take on certain subjects. Okay, so we're getting these petals kind of blocked in here. I think I want to darken them up just a tad and put in a little bit more soft shading. And if you go over into this outlined area, it's not the end of the world. Like if you go like this and come over, we'll kind of blend that out. Okay. So we're gonna flip this up, take a quick peek at those flowers that we're starting to develop, and then I'm going to keep the wood this way, and we're going to go up and work on these guys up here. And I'm going to move me again. Nope. Come on, right there. There we go. Okay. It's always fun trying to get the angles just right here. Hey, we're getting closer. Okay. So we're going to focus probably on this guy first because we can't see the other one all the way. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's get down into these little petals. They look a lot of fun. And they're going to have kind of a darker bit at the base with a soft edge outline. So I'm kind of just doing a little bit of outlining here, real soft, soft edged, light value outlining to kind of create definition on these petals. The Optima, yeah, I'll definitely take a look at different wood burning tools. Okay, so each one of these little petals is really cool because there's kind of a gradient that starts at the bottom and it's darker at the bottom and then it's going to get lighter towards the top. And if you find that you start creating these gradients and you lose value, definition and value between the petals, you can go back in and kind of darken some of these areas up and just make it a little bit more distinguished, defined, better definition, etc. So do we have any questions so far as at this point as far as what we're talking about? I see that you guys are talking back and forth a lot, and that's great. I really think that that's a great way to kind of fill in some of the dead time when I'm thinking more than talking here. But I don't want you to kind of forget that, yeah, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those as we go. So I'm starting to put in some stripes in some of these petals because they have a little bit of that texture going on, and that's kind of fun. You're still watching. No, that's fine, Terry. That's awesome. And I know that you guys are, and it's, you know, this is all very slow going, so I like that you guys are visiting with each other and kind of discussing the different tools and what you guys use and what you like and all that stuff. So that's awesome. So we're getting some petals there. We're kind of looking almost into those petals, kind of from straight up above. Okay, we're going to start putting in a little bit of soft shading on this other side of the flower. So I'm putting in some lines here to help kind of create form to the petals. Now remember, when we're working on something like this, that the darker values tend to push away and the lighter values will pull forward. So if you find that your petals are looking a little bit too flat, you might try and push those darker values back and darker just a little bit more, and that'll push them back, which will pull the petals forward. And if your petals are too dark, then you're going to have to really darken up the other areas and just kind of tweak that for sure. Thanks, Kelly. I'm glad that you are enjoying the flowers and that they're helpful. I don't want to get too far over here because I don't want to be out of the screen. Okay, so let's come back and keep working on this one here. And then to help create the idea of petals behind petals, you can put in kind of a V shape up here towards the top. Let's see where else I want to put it. To make it look like there's petals kind of back hidden behind there. So I'm going to darken up some of the shading where the petals meet the center of the flower and just make this a little bit richer down in here. Thanks, buddy.
Pizza man's off to eat pizza.
Yay, thank you. Very cool. I'm down here in the corner.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Will's gonna go get some pizza to cook. Yes, Mina, the petals at the end are very light, almost white, because they've got some backlighting going on there, and that will play a part with our shading. You can also use a little bit of white colored pencil after the burn is complete to kind of help accentuate those lighter backlit petals. So I'm going to work a little bit here on this leaf. Putting in some of the veins. This leaf is also quite light, but I'm going to shade a little bit more than what I'm seeing on the reference photo so that we have a little bit more depth. Okay. Thanks, guys. Glad that you like the flowers. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you can make it. Yes, the gloves certainly help when wood burning. They help a little bit with the heat, but not much. I would say if you're struggling with problems with heat, try to work on an inclined surface, because then the heat is going to go up and away from your hand instead of kind of having all the heat pool underneath your hand. So the main reason I wear a glove is to help prevent accidental burns. If you brush up against the point or drop it, try to catch it, something silly like that. It's easy to do. There's also, like, who just mentioned it? Yeah, Kelly mentioned wearing gloves to keep from getting your skin in contact with the wood when you're working. I agree with that too. That's why even in the summertime I wear long sleeves, because especially with bigger projects I tend to like lay on the project and I put my arms up there, and I don't want any lotions or sweat or anything like that to transfer over onto the wood, because once you burn over that it looks kind of weird. Fingerprints, you can actually, it's kind of cool if you get your fingers real oily and touch the surface of the wood, like on the back side or something, and then you go over and burn it, you can see your fingerprints. You basically burn your fingerprints into the wood, which is pretty crazy. But that is a good reason why you don't really want to touch the surface of the wood. So gloves help, sleeves, anything to help prevent contact with your skin onto the wood. TH says the center looks fluffy. Awesome. Yep, we're getting there. Okay, so you're still working on some other projects, Terry. That's cool. Thanks, Mina. Mina says that she likes my piece better than the photo, and that the wood burning is richer and has better texture. Thanks. And that's one cool thing about being an artist, is you can kind of take that artistic license and pick and choose what you include in a project. And if the reference photo, like the values are a little bit washed out or something, you can darken them up or richen them. You can change the lighting a little bit and accentuate certain areas that aren't like all that exciting in the photo. So that's a lot of fun, is that pushing and pulling of values, which is, I think, one of the coolest ways to create depth in a project, is just with your lights and your darks. Okay, so I'm going to scooch down a little bit that way to the left. So so we can see when you are stuck to the wood. Where you can see both the reference photo and the project. Okay. So now we're just going to kind of repeat what we did on that first flower by creating our dark values first and pulling them up in a gradient towards the tips of the petals. I have so many fuzzies on my wood burning tonight. I don't know what it is. We have pizza noises in the background. Oh, and by the way, our trash can sounds like it's farting, but it's not me. So the trash can, we just got one where you push the foot thing and the lid lifts up, and then when it goes down, we need to oil it because it makes this funny little sound. So if you hear something weird, it wasn't me, I swear. Our trash can sounds like a trumpet, actually.
It's Mona.
Yeah, my husband calls it Mona because it makes this groaning noise whenever it closes. It's kind of weird. There's all kinds of background noises that are fun when you're on live stream. Thanks, Beverly. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, TH. Hey, you. So Jennifer C. has been using the razor tip, and oh dear, now you're using the Versatool. Gotcha. Thanks, guys. Yeah, the trash can is hilarious. I'll have to just film the trash can one of these days. And it always makes the same sound as it closes. So Larry wants to put the trash can in the guest bathroom. We got this can at Walmart. So if you go to Walmart and find a big metal trash can with a foot thing, that's what it is. It just needs oiled. So Rich is having audio challenges. Okay. Yeah, I still hear wrestling in the kitchen and I still hear me, so it might be on your end, bud. So we have a little bit of overlapping here with these different petals. It looks like they're kind of opening up at the bottom. So I'm going to put some shading on the petals that are farthest away to push them back, so this doesn't look like a jumbled mess. And then I'm also going to take these lower petals here and kind of darken them up a bit and push them back a little bit too, because it looks like they kind of drooped as the flower opened. Yep, it's totally live, real life background noises. That's what we get. And now the dog is drinking. So I have a really sensitive microphone, so I don't know how much you guys are hearing. I'm hearing like everything in the background. It's pretty funny. The dog drinking. The trash can making noises. The pizza man making pizza. Can we bring in the trash can? Yeah, we can bring in the trash can. Hey, Will.
Yeah?
Would you have Dad bring the trash can into the studio, please?
Yeah.
They want to hear the trash can.
Ha! Mona?
Yeah, they want to hear the trash can. We could bring that in. Yeah, Sophie is very thirsty. Oh my gosh, she's really drinking. So the trash can is going to have its debut here. Aw.
Carl and Carrie had their baby.
Oh, great. Okay. So yeah, if you want to bring that trash can and just set it here.
You want to have Mona sit beside you?
Just for a minute, just to show them the silly trash can. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, you walk out of the bathroom. I swear it was the trash can. It wasn't me. So Larry wants to get a trash can like this and put it in his bathroom. Be great. So you guys can hear Sophie drinking a little bit ago. That's funny. Okay, so here's our silly trash can. And we'll get some good audio here for the trash can. Ready?
Can they see it?
Yeah, they can. You guys can see the trash can down here in the corner. Okay, so here we go. Trash can goes up. So it seems like it changed its little tune. Yeah, it's the later part. Sounds kind of like something funny. Anyway, all right, you have seen the trash can. Yes, this is becoming a very trashy live stream. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yep, we're having fun tonight. TH, absolutely. You gotta have a little bit of fun now and then. Oh, dear. So, Rich is asking if I'll be wood burning, working on other types of wood in the future. That's a great thought, Rich, and something that I would definitely be open to. I can certainly show how to do wood burnings on other types of wood. So that's a great idea. And that might just be my question at 7:30 for our little giveaway, because I can never think of a question. So, okay. Terry says, oh, your husband usually blames it on the dog. Gotcha. Yeah, Walmart's gonna make like a big sale on trash cans tonight. But you gotta use it for a while and let it get, like, I don't know, the hingy thing is dry or whatever. And the more you use it, it sounds like a little trumpet. Larry, it does sound like it has gas. Yep, I agree. Every time we throw stuff away, we have to laugh. The trash can is singing. My husband calls it Mona. Okay, so we have a little bit of some overlapping petals in here, so just really make sure that you use your value structure to push and pull. Darker values tend to push back, lighter values pull forward. Generally. And then you can put some of these V-shaped patterns in for petals that are behind other petals. And I need a little bit more definition on that one. All right, glad everybody enjoyed the trash can. Lots of fun. Kelly, you're awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Kelly was very sweet and left a very sweet message there. Thank you. Yep. Very down to earth. Kind of a bit of a goober sometimes. Me. Not you. Me. No, I think I'm probably about as easygoing and easy to get along with than just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a lot to get me riled up. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Mina. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Kelly. You guys are awesome. Hi, Steve. Glad you can make it. Thanks, Patricia. And Will is cooking pizza. Thanks, Will. Thank you, Terry. Okay, so our flowers are coming along pretty well. I think we're about time. They're pretty soft right now. They're very soft and kind of blurry and fuzzy looking. And I probably will clean these up a little bit to give a little bit more definition to some of these petals, but they're very soft and fluffy right now. Everything's kind of very blended and smooth. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's flip this up and take a look at our, let me zoom out if I can. Oh, I can. Okay, so that's coming along pretty well with the flowers. So, question time. Do you want me to continue working on the foliage inside tonight at this point, or do you want me to jump into the background and kind of show you kind of what I'm thinking about with the background? Or maybe I could switch back and forth. So let me know which one you want me to do. And in the meantime, I'll probably just dive right in here to the middle. But what do you guys want to see? Do you want me to finish the foliage in the middle first before we move on to the background, or just kind of mix it in as we go? Okay, so Rich says, how about a frozen pond, winter scene with ice skaters, campfire trees, etc.? That would be a really big burning. That would take a long time. So as far as a live stream, we would probably have to pick a smaller subject, because anytime you get into landscapes, they can take a tremendous amount of time, especially with figures and trees and all that. That would be beautiful, Rich. I think that's really cool. But as far as a live stream, we'd probably have to do that more in sections. But that's a great, great thought. Thanks, guys. Back and forth. Middle, mix it in, mix it. Okay, everybody kind of wants me to kind of jump around and mix the background in with the foliage. Okay, so since my burner is already down a little bit, I'm just trying to think about where I want to work. Okay, so my big picture here on the background is, tape is malfunctioning. Maybe it'd be easier to show you on the reference photo. So what I want to do, instead of a solid black background, which would work for this, and if you dive in and you try to do the background that we're going to do and it doesn't work out, you can just black out the whole thing and that's fine. But if you notice, since this is so backlit, anywhere where you have really bright subject matter, you're going to want a little bit of a darker background in those areas. And then when it comes down, say down in here where the subject is a little bit darker, you're going to want a lighter background. And it's going to be fuzzy and kind of blurry and kind of mottled like it is in the picture. So that's the main, I guess, goal is anywhere we have a really light area, we're going to push the background back. It'll pull our subject forward and it'll make it a little bit more dynamic. So, okay. Where am I? where do I want to start? So since my burner's down, I might kind of dive into this section right here. It's very tiny and hard to get into. So we will zoom in and we'll get all set up. Okay. All right, so I'm still where the orange meets the red on the burner. So we're just gonna keep everything like really soft. Soft and fuzzy. So everything back here is gonna be a lot of soft shading. It doesn't have to be really even. You can mix it up. The one thing that I do want is to create a good marriage between the background and my outline as best I can, so that you don't see the outline in the end. Now, anytime that you burn a cross grain, it's going to see your strokes a little bit more. So if you can, get your outline started, and then you can kind of go like this and burn with the grain. Again, you'll need a little bit more work to blend that area where you went from horizontal to vertical, cross grain versus with grain. So it almost looks like ice or something hanging off of there, which is kind of fun. So I'm just going back and forth, nice long smooth strokes, and we're gonna just massage our values here. So as we work throughout the background, you may find that you want to play up certain areas more so than others. I don't know if that's gonna help. I don't want to unplug something. I know I'm always like underneath the camera, sorry guys. I think it's a better view for the overhead though. Okay, so now where this little line, this handle, where the handle is attached to the cream can, I want that to be a little bit lighter. And I'm probably gonna have to turn this around and work on it from a different angle to do what I want to do, but I'll just try to make it work. So you're just going to be burning in between these areas of the subject. And where my subject is lighter, I want the background to be darker, and then vice versa. Okay. Rich is saying, do you lose depth effect if the background was solid black? Probably not on this subject because it's backlit. If you have a subject that has quite a bit of dark values to it anyway, and then you do a solid black, you're gonna your subject is gonna kind of disappear a little bit into the background, if that makes sense. But since this whole picture is pretty well backlit, we should be okay. So I'm still gonna work in this little handle section here. I'm just gonna flip it upside down and be able to clean up, and then we can add in some background over there. Okay. So right now we're kind of losing this leading edge of that little bar. So what I'm going to do is darken around that, and it should pop forward again. Like I said, if this gets kind of tricky or you start to lose value, you can just black the whole thing out. The whole background just go solid black. So that's kind of a fail-safe, so if you have problems with this. We've just done a lot of black backgrounds, not a lot, but a couple, and so I thought it might be fun to show something different. So now that the background is darker than our light line right there, that light bar is starting to pop forward a little bit. Okay, so, and now I will make kind of a darker. Now this is where it'd be handy to turn the burner up a little bit, so I might just do that. Let me finish in here. It's not the best angle, but thanks, Terry. Thanks, TH. Thanks, Mina. So I'm not doing like a true black here. It's just fairly dark. Okay, so I'm going to turn the burner back up a little bit higher. And while that's warming up, I'll work on probably this little delicate area here. Now this is all backlit as well, so we can go fairly dark. Mina, am I on max heat? I just turned it back up. So it's going to take a couple minutes to reach its optimal temperature. In that interim, I'm just going to work in some other little areas where I could use the extra control with the lower temp. I just turned it back up. I was where the orange meets the red for a good part of this. So, okay, I'm about out of frame. Rich, am I following the model background? Not really. The reference photo background I might incorporate a little bit once I get away from my subject to create some interest like in these areas here. But while I'm around my subject, I am just trying to make sure that I shade darker where the subject is lighter to create contrast. And then where my subject is darker, I will shade the background lighter, again, to make more contrast. So it's like an opposite. And then if you want to kind of, I know we're upside down here, I'm zoomed out. Okay. But if you want to follow something like this at this point, then you can kind of start following the reference photo and blocking in some of those different shapes. And that's totally fine. Now this, you can see my strokes are like really noticeable right now. If you continue adding more layers and smoothing it out, it'll all turn real fuzzy. Just keep your pressure light and your strokes as close together as possible. I'm kind of hurrying right now, so it looks a little bit rough, but I can go back over, slow down, and try to kind of blend those in a little bit more. Ooh, and we're getting some wood grain in there too. That's kind of messing with me, but that's okay. So now I'm just gonna kind of do a light value. And now comes like the blending. So just a little bit more blending. Well, actually a lot more blending, but to kind of soften everything. So make sure you use a tip that you're comfortable with, something soft, maybe like with rounded edges. Anything with sharp edges or hard edges might make this blending stage a lot more challenging. Uh-oh. That's okay.
I can close it if you want.
No, it's okay. It doesn't show up here. So this background here with the smoothing and the blending, this is where it could really eat up a lot of time. And I've actually kind of timed the difference between doing this style of background with a lot of shading versus just a solid black. And the solid black background actually takes less time than these shaded backgrounds just because they take a long time. And so it's just a style preference right now, and I wanted to show you guys something different. So, but these have a neat look with the blended background. Hey Jess, there should be a piece of paper over there with a list of names.
This one?
Yeah, that's one. Oh, thanks. Sorry, distracted. So Rich, yeah, the flow point. That could make an interesting texture using the flow point. It's not going to make something this soft, I don't think, but maybe I'll do that also on one of my next projects, is show how to create a really textured and dynamic background using the flow point. That's a lot of fun. It can be tedious and time consuming, but I can show you just snippets of that, just a different way to make a background. So, all right, I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna flip this back right side up, just so you guys can kind of see where we're at. So as you can see, this kind of a background is going to be much more dynamic. You're going to have lights and darks, and I need to kind of blend that in. There's a big stripe going through there, so I'll blend that in. But anyway, this is a really fun, different background, and you can have areas of light and areas of dark, but this is kind of the style for what I'm going for. The flow point is the one that looks like a little bullet, yes. Oh, no, I have it right here. So, this would be the flow point right here. If you can see that. It does look like a little tiny bullet. It's pretty rounded, but this, you can actually like write and make lettering with this pretty well, but there's some fun ways to create some really dynamic and textured backgrounds with this one. So I might kind of put that on the list as well. So thanks, guys. I'm glad that you like the background. I'm going to probably stay zoomed out here a little bit and maybe come around this side of the pumpkin just so you can see really easily. And again, I'm moving really fast, but the more blending that you make, the more layers, the more that you go over these backgrounds, the softer they look, and they look more like out of focus, or something you'd see as kind of like a still life. But I'm going to follow kind of the same pattern and go right next to my subject. The main thing is create contrast. That's my goal right now, is to create contrast wherever I can. So if my subject is light, I'm going to go darker. The last thing you want to do is match your value, because then it'll all just like blur together. So if you have a dark area, make sure your background is a little bit lighter in that section, and vice versa. Does that make sense, guys? That opposite shading effect that we're doing on the background. So yes, Rich, at this point you can kind of follow the background blurry image if you want to kind of help add some more interest, and if you're not sure which areas to make lighter or darker, you can follow the interest. Okay, so it makes sense, guys. Okay, good. Good, good, good. So I did do a wood burning of a train where I had a sky that was kind of modeled like this, that I did some interesting shading on. So that was fun. I'm trying to think of when else I've done this. I wood burned an image of a dog jumping over a fence for our local sheep herder dog, you know, where the dogs chase the sheep and they have to do contests. There was an art contest that I did, and I think I took third, but they said if I had had sheep in the picture, it would have done better, so good lesson learned. Anyway, I did a really very tedious kind of a gradient on the edges where it looked like a sepia photo where the edges kind of fade in, and that took a long time. Can I move the image up a little bit? Sure. So you want to see more of the bottom, Beverly? Like that? Let me know if that's what you'd like. So Larry says, I like the sheen that you have on the front of the jug. Cool, yeah. And as we push our background darker, that light area on the front of the jug is going to pop forward with that push and pull of values. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's 7:30. It's time for the little the gift giveaway. Contest is open to everybody on the live stream. So tonight's question, oh, and I have stickers. I have stickers of pretty much every project that I've done here. So you get to take your pick of the stickers, and I will send you 2 stickers, one for you and one for a friend. So the winner just needs to email me and let me know what stickers you would like. So the question tonight is, other than basswood, which is what we've been working on, what type of wood would you like me to wood burn on in the future? And also, like, Yeah, what type of wood would you like to see me burn on? So you can go ahead and put your, just chat your answer in the chat. Okay, so so you can kind of create some dynamic little glowy things in the background. Okay, Jennifer says cherry, Rich says cherry, Larry says either cherry or sycamore. I don't think I've never burned on sycamore. Cool. TH says cherry. Terry says oak. Mina says poplar. Oh, can't do that. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of go around the side of the pumpkin. Mellow Yellow says poplar. Kelly says cherry. Okay, so I'm only going to go down as so far as the little table, because there's like a little table. And then I'm going to kind of put in a line right there. And then we'll do something different on the floor of the table later. Steve says purple heart. Wow. Patricia says, can you burn on birch? I think so. I think other people have burned on birch. Larry says poplar would be nice. Have I ever burned on maple? I don't think so, Larry. Beverly says mahogany. These are all great, great suggestions. Beverly says mahogany. So now I'm going to kind of try to blend in this curved line that goes against the grain into vertical strokes that go with the grain. And this is, when you do backgrounds like this, it's really fun because the more contrast that you create in a certain area, it's like the more your eye is drawn to that area. So since this is becoming quite dark, this might be a really fun focal point. I could also kind of blend it out and smooth it out and blend it in. But anyway, it's something to keep in mind. I think that the more dramatic the contrast, the more your eye is drawn to it. Larry says, since cherry is darker, would you choose a light subject? That is a good and interesting question. Cherry does burn much darker. I love burning on cherry. It's really hard to get right now, or last time I looked it was really hard to get. But a lot of times with cherry, I wind up choosing subjects that are darker or have a great potential for color. I love adding color on cherry because cherry does burn darker and it just pops. It just, once you add that color, it just lifts off the surface of the wood. So I would probably pick something that has a color opportunity, whether it's just white or other colors. That's usually how I pick my subjects for cherry. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so tonight's winner is Patricia. So congratulations, Patricia. You get 2 stickers. Let me know which one you would like, and your mailing address. So you can send that to questions@minisapyrography.com and let me know what you would like. Okay, so I'm going to try to jump down in between this little section here because that'll really tie this together. Larry says, you had to burn a rhinoceros on cherry. Wow. That would be really cool. I think you should finish it. It would be interesting to see if you could maybe fix that defect that you say that is in there. That'd be pretty interesting. And right now the only cherry pieces that I have are they're 6-inch rounds, but I think that would be a lot of fun, and I will put that on the list for a future project, will be to burn cherry. Yes, congratulations, Patricia. So I'm trying to make sure that I get around to everybody, so that everybody can get a gift. Because I really appreciate everybody being here, and thanks so much for a fun Friday evening with wood burnings and moaning, groaning, farting trash cans. So it's been like a lot of fun. And I am starting to smell pizza. Will likes the pizza a little bit more done, so it stays in the oven quite a while. Okay, so I'm going to have to flip the wood around to get back in that little nook right there next to the stem, but I'm going to just keep working in this position for right now. And I'm going to try to keep working my way around because this blending outward is going to take a lot more time. So I'm going to try to make some good progress here so you can see where we're headed. Yep. Yep, Will likes the pizza a little bit more done. I would rather it be crispy instead of kind of mushy in the middle, the pizza. So you can really cover a lot of ground out here once you get your dark areas kind of figured out and see where you want those to be. And if you make a mistake, like a little stop spot like I did right there, just make that whole area a little bit darker and it should blend right in. It may take some layering and massaging, but you can do it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this upside down real quick. And hey, there we go. Let me touch up this side here. And if you find that you're not getting enough definition between your background and your subject, go ahead and rock that point up a little bit more and try to get a harder edge. And that'll help. Okay, I'm going to do just a tiny bit right in here, and then we'll flip it right side up and kind of take a look at everything here. Terry, absolutely. Will, I always cook his bacon. I cook incredibly done. It's like majorly crispy bacon for Will, which is funny because my other two kids like the chewy bacon, so I make theirs kind of more softer and chewy. Husband likes standard crispy bacon. I like all bacon, and Will likes his bacon just this side of on fire. Rich is asking, is this type of shading similar to burning sun rays coming through trees or the forest? Yes, I would say so. That is, sun rays peeking through trees is probably right up there with the elephant as far as some of the more tricky wood burning that I've ever done. Those sun rays are crazy, crazy difficult. But it turns out really cool in the end. So they're a lot more, ooh, doggy wants in. Thank you. Those sun rays coming through trees are a lot more complicated than at first glance. Anyway, fun project though. I'd like to try that one again. But this is kind of my normal go-to for smooth shading, is just this back and forth motion with the shading point. So let's zoom out a tad if I can. Nope, I can't. I'm already zoomed out. So this is pretty cool. Maybe I can move the camera up a tad just to get farther back. Hey, that's a little bit better. So this is kind of the overall style that I'm going to go for on the background. So I might go ahead and we'll block in this corner here as well. So I'm going to turn the wood this way. You guys can see okay. And we'll block in this area here, and that'll kind of tie the pumpkins to the ground with the background. So now you can see that our light outlines that we made in the beginning around our subject are disappearing very nicely into the background, which is what we want. We don't really want to see those outlines later. They're good as kind of a marker or a starting point. When we first start, but we don't want to see them at the very end. So I know I'm flipping all the way around here, guys, and I apologize, but this is how I do it. So because I want to burn with the grain as much as possible on this background, because it'll be much smoother. Now, whenever I'm blocking in large areas, let me zoom in and see if, oh, hello, if I can show you. Well, let me show you on the back, actually, what not to do, or what I try not to do. Wrong way. So when I'm blocking in large sections, the last thing that I want is to march the burner across the wood in an even fashion. And then now I have to try to match my next section and try to blend these areas right here together. It's very difficult. So instead of that, what I want to do for backgrounds is always keep an irregular edge. So it's not practical to block in a background like this. It just doesn't work. So working in smaller areas is good, but what I do, and this is a little bit exaggerated, but I will create kind of a spiky leading edge like this and vary it up. Again, that's a little bit more exaggerated, but when you go to burn the next pass, the next section, it's much easier to blend it in more smoothly, whatever, like that. Now see how that's a much better transition, and then you can go back over and make it darker as well. But I always keep an irregular edge when I am blocking in large areas. That goes for fur, faces, smooth areas. It's so much easier to blend something like this than it is straight across. I hope that makes sense as well. So I'm just gonna add a little bit here. Now let's flip it right side up and take a look. And now I gotta zoom out again. Whee! Okay, so see, here we go. Now this is turning into a really fun, very sepia. It's all sepia, but it's, I don't know, I really like the depth that we're starting to get. You can see how that can is starting to really pull forward now that we have some background. The pumpkins are just kind of popping off of the wood as well. So as we continue on, especially once we get up in here and start blocking in around these flowers and doing the same background, those are going to pop forward as well. So let me see if I can get my little block in here. I'll try to quit talking and keep burning, because I know we're getting down towards the edge of our time. Okay, keep going. But this is a lot of fun. This is a dynamic background. I don't do them very often. I really love the black backgrounds, but you know, I think I'm ready for a change, and I might start changing that up a little bit, because this is a lot of fun and I like how this is turning out. This is not a good angle, but we'll just go with it. So again, softer edges right here. Now you're gonna watch that edge, that outline, just kind of disappear into the background. So in this stage, I'm not looking at my reference photo. I'm just simply going off of the different values that I want to push or pull. And once you get away from that subject, you can soften up a little bit and kind of blend it out. It doesn't have to be super dark all the way. But it's really fun, and it's kind of abstract as far as where you decide to make your background darker. My hair's going crazy. I'm so ready for a haircut. Like, chop it all off. My hair's not been this long in a really long time. My husband would disagree. He wants it longer, but I had pixie cuts for so long and shorter hair, so. Okay, yes, working upside down is a lot of fun, Terry. I agree. Thanks, TH. Thanks, Beverly. Yeah, Rich, the blending of always keeping kind of an irregular edge, that definitely helps to blend everything in and make it nice and smooth. So you can see I'm still continuing to do that. That's why a lot of times when I'm kind of blocking in the backgrounds, it looks almost like it's dripping a little bit. And on the rare occasion, I will leave it looking kind of drippy like that, which is fun too. It adds a different kind of a surreal look to it. But for this piece, I'll probably blend everything in. Oh, so Terry, you're still struggling with the stops and start sections? Yeah, those can be a challenge for sure. Now this is not the best position for me to work on these this edge, but I'm just gonna try to keep going with it here. I apologize, my head's not in the thing. I get really close, sorry. Rich is asking, have I wood burned melting candles? No, but I do have some reference photos. That's something that I think would be a lot of fun. The textures on that are way cool. And I love textures, so that is something that would be fun. So we're just gonna continue around here, and then you can see how those flowers are just really starting to pop. And we can also do the same thing in these little keyhole areas, these little nooks and crannies. Just make sure that we push those dark enough to where they're not confused really with the foliage. Although if they do get confused with the foliage, oh well, that's okay too. Okay, that's a little bit kind of crazy there, but fuzzies. So anyway, you can just kind of take off and start developing some lighter patches, darker patches, and then with that irregular stripey kind of look, it's easier to blend some of these sections together. And it'll need quite a bit more blending, but okay, I'm gonna see if I can't block in the rest of this upper part of the flower. Kind of racing the clock here. Okay, we'll keep going on this edge. I think it must be my shirt that's putting little fuzzies on the wood. It's a new shirt, so that's probably the case. But if you see me keep wiping the surface of the wood, I don't want to burn over those little specks of fabric because the dye will stain the wood. Yes, time is definitely flying tonight, Terry. It's really going fast. And like I said, I am moving really, really fast right here. Right now, that's why everything is kind of splotchy looking. But I will take the time to smooth everything out and go back over the background and make it all more cohesive and smoother and softer and more blurry. But I want to give you guys a little bit better of an overall stopping picture here. So you can see my cross grain versus my with grain lines there need some more blending. Yeah, Larry. I don't know if you heard the trash can going again here just a little bit ago. Every time we get into the trash can, it starts tooting. Oh, you guys heard it. Did you hear the trash can? I had like the... Oh my gosh. Yeah. The trash can got opened again. Mona. The farting trash can. It sounds like a storybook. And now for today's story is Mona the farting trash can. So this is like speed burning right here. You guys hear Will? Yeah, both boys are in the kitchen. They're rummaging around getting pizza. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're noisy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, they heard the trash can when you opened it.
Oh.
I mean, I can hear it. This microphone is really, really
Yes,
sensitive.
it is.
So that's what happens.
Pizza ready.
Yay!
My hair is floofy.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I might go over just a couple minutes here. I just kind of want to block in a couple more things so that you guys can get a better idea of where we're going to stop, and then where we're going to pick up the next session. Yep, Larry, we're getting way off topic. Sorry. At least it's not too boring, so. Okay, and now this little section here will probably be pushed back a little bit darker, but. Thanks, guys. Yep. Every project, I think, has the ugly duckling stage. It's just part of the process. Okay. So, it's looking really spiky and kind of crazy. So I might soften these a little bit. But again, the irregular edges are easier to blend, I think, with larger areas. So, okay. Whew. So let's zoom back and see if I can't angle this back a little bit to get more of the project. Okay, so this is coming along pretty well, but you can see the difference between more time and more blending and smoothing versus just trying to go as fast as possible here. So this will all be blended out and will make it really soft and smooth, and it won't be all spiky. But now you can kind of see how these flowers here are just pulling forward, and I will darken up this edge next week as well and really push that background back. It'll pull the flowers forward and they'll just start to just pop, and that's where you're going to get that three-dimensional look to your wood burning. So the 3D effect is all about your values, your darks and your lights. So making sure you got good contrast, rounding subjects where they need rounded, and so I didn't get back to the foliage tonight, sorry about that, but we kind of got into the flow of the background, and that's fine. So we will do one more session next week, and I will do my level best to finish. Now, are you guys okay if I kind of do some of the smoothing and blending on the background, what we've already done, and get a little bit more of that background done before next week? Let me know, or if you want to see every little bit of it. because I can spend a lot of time just kind of softening these edges and stuff before next week's live stream, and then it'll probably go a little bit faster. But if you guys want to see everything, let me know you want to see everything. If you want me to just kind of move ahead and blend, let me know. Move ahead. Move ahead a little bit. Okay. Okay. Looks like people are saying, okay, because you guys saw me do that over here. You can maybe go back and re-watch that section if you need more time. But again, lots of layers. Keep your kind of really irregular strokes and then blend it all together. Okay, Mina. Well, I can always maybe block in part of this, and then we can go ahead and blend the rest of it. So I might block in this half and get that kind of to a point so you see where we're going, and then we'll take the time to do the blending and everything on the other side. So that way we get we make sure that we get everybody taken care of. So okay, yeah, this was an amazingly fast class, and I was just moving as fast as I could, but I'm glad that we got the flowers done and we started in the background. So I really want to try to finish this up next week, and we'll kind of see how that goes from there. So thanks so much, everybody. I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and we will be here same time next Friday, and we will finish up the project, hopefully. All right. Good night, TH. Good night, Angela. Bye, Mina. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Kelly. Bye, Larry. Good night, Rich. Awesome. Good night, everybody. Thanks again for joining. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Beverly. Thanks, Patricia. Bye.